Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the University Academy Podcast. I'm your host, John Jennings, and with me, as always, is my co-host taking a swig on screen, Mr. Matt Childress, and, of course, Mr. Chris Smith. How are we doing, guys?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Fantastic. It's been a long time.
It has.
Even though we have tried to record, it's just,
we didn't try.
Old,
there was no
technical difficulties.
It was. I was gonna say it was the Yoda. There is no try. Yeah. We did. It's just OBS.
We did, yes.
OBS decided between the test record I took, which had all of our audio, and then the actual recording, OBS decided, oh, John, your microphone doesn't work. So while we have like an hour and so of Chris and Matt responding to my questions and things like that, or things I have said, then you can hear them perfectly. But I'm just
we could have released it, and we may yet, where you guys can go and you can just actually dub over what you think John said.
Yeah.
And then we can like make it into a game or something and see who gets
that would be
right.
neat.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, because because I have a Mr. Compressed to give away, and that was like an announcement in the last
I forgot about that.
Can't do that until we actually get an episode out.
That's true.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, awkward.
It's a magic trick. The audio just disappeared.
How fitting that with Mr. Compressed, it's a magic
right.
trick, you know?
Yeah. Crazy.
And of course, we obviously we'll touch on some of the stuff we talked about then. It was basically catching up on news and stuff. But then also the day after we recorded, there was also a bunch of more news. So I guess we'll work that in. There was the RLE information came out as far as pricing, and we learned it was what cards it was going to be. It's 3 cards. You get one of each for entering. That is set pricing, which is something that we talked about previously, right?
No.
You get one.
You get 2 for entering. You get cremation.
One.
And you get effortless
movement.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You get one of each of those. Sorry, and then there's the other one.
3, and you said you get one of each. You don't get one of each.
Yeah,
you only get those 2. And then when you make it to top 64,
you get the Toga card,
the Toga Foundation, and then you get the Vial Seizing or something. And we top
8
or 16 or something.
Oh no, you get the Shigaraki 5 diff for
it's 5
top
diff, sorry.
30. Yeah, top 32 gets that. Vial Seizing silvers for top
8
is 2 through 8.
Yep.
And then the gold one, which doesn't look as good as the silver one, is for first. So again, the contender card's better than the champ card, and
Taylor's all this time.
Hey,
Beauty and the
it's
Beast.
on a banger of a card this time, at least. At least Vial Seizing. I mean, in theory, Vial Seizing is a banger, because really the format is less than a week old right now.
Yeah.
So we don't even know what's really good.
I mean, we'll find out how good Vial Seizing is in that Oceania RLE that's almost filled.
Yeah, very true. 99 of like 128. So that's crazy. The NA is coming out in droves. They're gonna go and play over. They want these cards, and they want to play overnight for some crazy reason. We want the cards.
Also the experience. So, get a little test of the meta, test out your decks.
Yeah, for sure.
Get some reps in the new meta.
There may be some people playing random stuff. This guy, because I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I may just end up just throwing Pixie Bob at everybody, just because I need something to entertain myself at midnight.
Well, it's also anything about it's kind of a cool opportunity if you're because you can't win your Nats invites if you're not from that region.
Yeah.
So given that, it's kind of a cool opportunity where it's low stakes, you can go and you can try hard and you can still win all the other stuff. You can win the whole thing and get the gold Vial Seizing we were just talking about. But you're still gonna have to play in another one that's in your region if you want to get an invite to Nats. So given that,
you can play at your local store,
or a store championship. But I'm saying given that, I think that there's you'll probably see people. Some will be playing the whatever they think is really good, but they also might just be playing something like, I think this deck's really cool and I want to see how it does. To Chris's point, something that they're just gonna have fun with. And see how competitive it might be stacked up to these other decks that people have really fine-tuned and tried to really push the envelope with. So, I don't know. Could be a cool event either way.
Yeah. And, I mean, what else are you doing on a Friday night, right? Like, for here on the East Coast, it's 5, I think we decided, right? It's 5 start time?
Or something like that.
Or 6?
No, it's 6 o'clock. I think it's when registration opens up for the event, unless the time on the event, because it's 10 a.m.
No, I was talking about for us, though. If we were playing, Yeah,
it's 10 a.m. in Australia or whatever or in that time zone, and that makes it 7 p.m. Or no, it makes 6 p.m. for us on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was 6 p.m. for me as well because of daylight savings or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
But I mean, what else are you
It's
going to do
weird.
on a Friday night? You know, I would play, but my brother is getting married the day after that. And, you know, I thought it's, you know, I'm supposed to be in it, and then there's rehearsal dinners and stuff. I mean, it's his second wedding, right? Does it really matter?
You're at the first one? If you're at the first one, then
I
you're
was
good.
at the
Yeah,
first
you're in the
one.
first one. You're good, John. You're good.
Well, I mean, I'm the best man in this one, but, you know.
And you're the
the
best
first
man
one?
playing cards all night. That's what you're doing.
Hey.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could technically sign up and just do the whole, hey, you got the win. Hey, you got the win, and then just drop after
I
round
like
two.
how Chris
You
is
could
calling
do
them
that.
on an old phone to
Yes.
tell them
Yeah,
what they got the win.
It's
yep,
just-
yep.
For all of
Well,
our
I mean-
audio listeners,
I mean,
he's
like,
picking up
I
his hand
actually,
and holding it up
to
to
be
face
honest,
the
yeah, whatever. To be honest,
Just
I
an
had a
old rotary
guy
phone.
in one. Shut up, guys. Jesus. Oh wow. Yeah, I had a guy drop. He called me through Discord on his phone and said, "Hey man, you got the win." And I'm like, "Okay, that's weird," but because he was just walking into work and it was like round two.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
I'm old enough to know what a rotary phone is. You
Yeah.
guys are too. You guys are.
Oh,
old as well, so-
unironically, I love rotary phones. They're so much fun. The house I lived at, in the house before for the house I'm in now, was my grandparents' old house, and there was an old rotary phone that still worked. It had, they had a landline. It still worked and everything. It was like from
Cool.
the 30s or 40s.
Yep.
It's so satisfying.
Okay. It's like on the oddly satisfying like YouTube channels or like the Reddit threads. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like that. But anywho, yeah. But yeah, like they announced the RLE stuff. Did they announce the PSC stuff too? Like the sign.
They
I know
announced
the sign-ups
that.
just
So
ended
your
on Friday.
So your
So we should find out
store
this
can
week.
get up to 3 per season. We don't know which stores will get what yet, because as Chris just alluded to, the signups for those, requesting those, I think just ended the window for that. So we should hopefully know in the next week or so. I would hope your store knows how many they're getting, so then they can kind of like get with your player group and like, we're gonna do ours this and that. And
I'm hoping in a really cool thing. They just go, yep, you're all getting them. You wanted 3, you got them. You got everyone got what they want. Gets what they want.
I feel like
to
the
get
only
it.
way you don't get
know?
3 is if like your store just hasn't been consistent. Like maybe if you're a brand new store or something,
Mhm.
and they're like,
Sure.
"Hey, sign up for 1," and then maybe they do it based off of like, "We'll see how your first one goes," kind of thing. Because yeah, I mean, like I don't see the harm in letting every store do their 3, right? Like
Sure.
it's just
Yeah.
more people coming into stores, more people playing in these events, maybe more people traveling to play in these events. Like it's more invites for Nats. Like it's just a win-win-win-win. I feel like, you know, like there's no negatives that I can immediately think of. So
Yeah.
here's
I
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
my store signed up for 3, and I know like in my area alone, we have a potential of 12 to 15 within like a 2 to 3 hour drive, which is nothing, which
That's
is like
not
a
bad.
round trip. So that's like a day trip. That's easy,
yeah.
And I know they're front loading all price support. So if you signed up for 3, they're going to send you all 3 kits right off
Okay.
the bat, in case you have say your first one has like 52 people or whatever the max is with 16,
giant
16, and
tournament.
16 or whatever. So you have to use all your kits for that one. So they'll send you have to send pictures and proof, but they'll send you replacement kits for that stuff. If you contact Jasco, they'll do that, which is kind of cool, which is they're already on the ball about that, instead of, well, maybe you had because the kits are made for 16 people. Let's say you had 25, and then the other 8 people had, or whatever,
It'll
7
be
to
an
8
odd
people
situation with prize support.
Yeah.
right?
had to wait on their prizes. But nah, they're going to send everything ahead of time, just so you can just take care of everybody there, which is great.
Yeah. And to your point, like, I knew for us, like we should have at least 2 stores, I think, that should be able
Cool.
to get them, like our store, and then there's another store in a neighboring town that Sky Group growing. So if that ends up being true, then yeah, like you're saying, like there might be within an hour and that's not counting Atlanta. Like if we drive down to Atlanta, they'll probably get one as well.
And
that's
there's
some change away.
Somerville.
Somerville,
Yeah.
that's
Final
a little
round.
bit further.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then also there's some across in North Carolina, I think, as well.
I'd imagine there's probably some in Charlotte or something.
No,
Around
there was some in the Triangle, I think.
Okay.
Area, because I played against a couple of guys on some of the webcam stuff last year and talked to them. But yeah, either way, point being, there should be some, to Chris's point, like within like a 2-hour drive from pretty much wherever you are. If I were to kind of guess.
Unless you're out like in the middle of nowhere, which I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm sure there'll
even
be
then-
an online something. They'll figure something out, or there's the online RLEs. I guess technically you can
yeah,
participate in
you're just
those.
playing the RL.
Yeah, I know they're not doing online PSCs this year. I know that.
Yeah.
It just,
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
the
make
store
sense
should
to
do
do that
those.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that the RLE2, the Kansas City, I think it's RLE2,
What
like
if they
the
did-
NA, RLE2 for the Kansas City one has been postponed because of unknown reasons. So we have no idea when signups are. They were supposed to go live last Wednesday, and they have not said anything about it yet.
What if they let a store like, say, like Rochester or something that just does like online retailing do an online store championship?
That would be cool.
That would be cool,
neat.
right?
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah,
because like be awesome. they're a big retailer for you, and give them like a little something and let them host it through Discord and stuff. Like, I'm not saying that has to happen, but I'm saying that'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool.
Yeah, I know they've hosted their own events through their Discord, so they've had
they've had webcam tournaments, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I don't see why they couldn't. That'd be neat. Yeah.
So I was just trying to think of like stores that are maybe only online, that they don't have a brick and mortar place for people to come in, and they could, so that way they could still participate. And that'd be pretty cool. Like maybe you make it so they can only do 1 instead of 3 or something like that. But it also gives everyone then online who can't travel, like you're saying, who's in the middle of nowhere, gives them an option to play in at least one of these things and see how it goes. But I don't know.
Yep.
Food for thought.
And we do also know, I think there will be some qualifying events at nationals. I think if you, for whatever reason, or have they alluded to that?
Man,
some kind of something.
That, but who knows?
Yeah, like anything past this season, I ain't holding my breath on.
that's a good call.
I would love to have Nats dates now, because I would love to have the Nats weekend, because so people can set up vacation time, because I took a random
way early.
I took a random stab in November, so the week before Thanksgiving. Jasco, if you're watching, Nats weekend, please, so I can go. Please. Yeah. Even if I'm not qualified, which I don't see why. I wouldn't be with like 12 to 15 events locally.
Well, I got bad news.
I know. I got some bad news for you. I didn't qualify. So I think I was. I mean, proof is in the pudding. HLC, baby. I totally, screwed the pooch. But anywho. But yeah, like I would probably, if I had that weekend off and I wasn't qualified for Nats, I would still go, because they're pumping it up with all of these side events to get promos. That's like the big thing now, right? Is you enter in, you get these wall tickets, and that's how you get your extra promos now, or through side events. So why not? And you can go hang out with your friends for like a weekend, and that's always a good time.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
I guess let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and catch up on some more recent news that we didn't previously already talk about and record. And we're back. So there was a recent announcement of a new type of tournament that's going to happen once a month, a webcam tournament. It's the MMM, and I don't know what the MMM stands for. Something monthly, I'd assume.
Monday
something
monthly mayhem or something like that.
Mayhem.
Okay,
something like that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Monday mayhem.
Yeah.
So yes,
it's just www upside down. So it's kind of
and it's on Mondays. It'll be, like I said, it'll be once a month. This is a cash prize tournament, so the top 8 all receive $125. It is, the first one at least is $10 to get in. The post on the Discord said there's a 56 player cap, but on the website it says 62 of 62 slots, I guess. But then there's also, it says there's a 64 player cap in the description. So I don't,
failure to communicate.
I don't know. At any rate, as of March,
it's literally the same person typed it in at 62 and 64.
And also 56.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, like, it's clearly a typo.
It's clearly a failure to communicate with computer
yourself.
to hand.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
yourself. Yeah.
At the very least, as of, I'm going to super date the pod, as of March 7th at 8:22 p.m. Eastern, you could still buy tickets for it, so who knows?
Thank you. I love it when you do this. I mean, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
That's why you scrubbed last week's, because I beat you to dating the pod. Oh,
no,
I just figured it out.
No.
Sabotage.
No. Just hit the Beastie Boys.
I don't know. Me personally, I do not want to play for money on webcam, so I am not partaking in that. Just I'd rather. I have a lot of fun playing just when was it Friday night unfun stuff, because it's just super casual. A lot of good people there and stuff, and sometimes when you do get money involved, you still get you do attract a certain type of
different type of crowd. Yeah, so it should be said that it's only 3 rounds. It is obviously on webcam. It'll be a rotating host of who's hosting the tournament each month.
Yeah, so like different stores are getting to do it, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Get some exposure for those stores.
Yeah.
First one's Unfun Stuff. So Bromley and his boys down there.
And they haven't said, but I know at least the first one has certain deck building stipulations. So kind of like with the webcam weeklies, the first one is you have to play a League of Villains character, set 4 character. Outside of that, your deck could be obviously whatever you want, but just of those, for this one has to be a set 4 character.
Okay, guys, quick exercise. If you were playing, who would you play?
I would play Dobby 2.
John?
Spinner.
I'd play Toga. Oh, cool. Okay, sorry.
No, I was just thinking, like, man, I really wanted to say Muscular, especially because of segue the tiebreak rules.
Oh God, yes.
So along with this,
play Toga siding into Muscular. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kill people.
Yeah.
Or side into.
I mean, you could. Also,
you could also do that.
You could also side into Muscular because you both share fire. So yeah, you could just smite them game 1 and then just side into Muscular and just be like, well, I guess we're just taking this to the end.
The tiebreak rules here
are
state
trash.
that at the time there is no overtime play.
Exactly as 00000.
In the middle of you playing a card, if time is called, it does not matter.
There is no over. I finish my turn, you finish your next turn. If you went second, it is who has more life.
Yeah.
Well,
not who has. It's just your current life.
If the game wins or tied.
If the game wins or tied, correct.
Yeah, we're talking game 3, which means game wins
game
or tied.
3. Yeah.
Or game 1 if your game 1 has gone that long.
That's true.
No, thank you.
It's really weird. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just do the life total differential, meaning you take their starting life and their current life, and you see who's taking more damage. And that would tell you, all right, whoever took more damage, that person lost.
Yes. The biggest thing here is this creates the potential that I'm sure everyone has done this math or said this, but you could have Muscular playing Shigaraki. Muscular has taken 16 points of damage, so he is at 20 health. Shigaraki has not been hit the entire game. He is at 19 health.
He's at 19.
Muscular wins the game because he technically still has more health than Shigaraki.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Now, I will say... Or go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, it doesn't make sense. And again, like, that's why you just look at the differential, right? You're like, Shigaraki's differential is 0. He's at full health. He wins.
I do understand why they're doing it because they want to have a clear-cut top 8. I get it, but it just does still. I hope it's just
gets you the same result. Like, it's still.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So
it just doesn't make sense.
It does. Yeah, it should be noted. It says they are testing these tiebreak rules, and they only apply for this specific format. These events. It's not going to be webcam weeklies, RLEs, anything like that. I guess potentially yet because they said they are testing them out. But I would assume there's going to be a huge backlash. There already was a huge backlash with when this got out.
There was a huge backlash.
The only reason they're doing it, like we're saying, is because this is a money tournament. The top 8 all get the same prizing. There is no top cuts. There are no additional rewards outside of the $125 that each person in the top 8 get.
You do get participation prizes for playing.
You get like plus ultra packs.
Yeah, but as far as top 8 prizing.
Right, but it's not like a scaled thing where it's like, if you win, you get an invite to Nats. Like, there's none of that.
Yeah,
like, it's literally just, hey, here's a money tournament at the beginning of the month each month that you can play in. They're gonna have special restrictions, like you're saying, and they have other special rules to determine.
I mean, I don't want to deter anybody. Play if you want, but it's just not for me.
I would totally play. Like, if it hadn't filled up already, I would have considered playing in it. But clearly, I was slow on the registration. That started yesterday.
It was yesterday. I think it was already half filled within 10 minutes, to be honest with you. It was crazy. It's nuts. Yeah, people are fiending to play. You know.
Yeah, well, I think
most of us clubs haven't
playing anything since like November.
Yeah, very true. Other than like webcam weeklies and locals and stuff like that, which doesn't really count. It's just locals. But
I mean,
and locals, you didn't have new cards until last week. So
very true.
We've been kind of lost in the wilderness as far as locals just playing random stuff. Yeah.
Last Friday for Unfun Stuff, Set 4 was legal, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
So we got to play. So I played my Toga 2 deck, which was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I lost to Tam on stream to his really freaking sick Bakugo, stupid Relentless Barrage garbage, cool deck. Yeah, that cool deck was
Bakugo
cool.
1, 2.
Bakugo 1, yeah, Relentless Barrage. He Gale Force, and then because it's a Fury, you block it, you can kick it or whatever. And I don't know, I was just messing around, and I checked a 1 on a key block because that happens, you know. But anywho, the games I did, you'll see in the deck profile coming out once Matt puts more blood on the thumbnail and John actually does this magic. And yeah, so that was a cool little segue. See, I'm good at that. So we're gonna have a deck
There's no more
four.
blood.
We're gonna have more blood, please. We're gonna have some set 4 deck profiles coming out. I did half. Matt is kind of doing half, but he's in house doing stuff mode.
Yeah,
So if
just
worst
busy
case
right now.
scenario, you may see my face 8 times. So if worst push comes to shove, because I have nothing else to do other than mess with cards.
Matt, did you like how Chris
Hashtag
was
live
like,
life.
hey, we would have these deck profiles out if not for these dorks over here?
He's like, wait on the bus. Here it comes, guys.
Oh!
Oh, thanks, Chris. I own a
Hey,
shirt
you know
that says
what?
Under
Hey,
that
I can't help it. Sometimes I don't mean to throw you guys underneath the bus, but sometimes you get that spark of inspiration, and like I did like 4 deck profiles in one day. It was just like,
Yeah.
just
I did
Can't
like
help it.
3 thumbnails in a weekend.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It's
no,
crazy.
I
You're also in the middle of redoing a house, so I
Yeah.
understand that.
yeah, Chris, you sent me like hey, here's the deck thing. Like I emailed it to you. I was like, okay, cool, I got it. And then I got like 3 more, and I hadn't checked Discord. I was like, did he just send me the same one like 4 times? What is this? And I checked Discord. And it's like, boop, 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 boop. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of them.
Sorry.
No, it's
I
fine.
had nothing to do. I
Doing
know.
his
It's
own,
like,
man.
It's just
Yeah,
unexpected.
sometimes it happens.
What they want.
I mean, we haven't had any content in like a month, so
I know, because
we had.
John keeps messing it all up,
Well, I
guys.
mean,
It's
like
true.
we did have
Oh.
we did have
That's
the
another
box
bus. Oh, that was another bus.
Well, I mean, Matt did do the box opening. We had the
It's
box
true, it's
opening
true.
video.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but
on release day,
on release
in the
day,
time, real
Yep.
streaming happening.
Mhm.
yeah, I know. I saw it, and the video was like live, and I'm like, what's going on here? Is Matt opening these boxes now? And it was just it was like the premiere was live for the
Mhm.
video. So,
Yep.
yeah.
We did the special.
That would have been that would have been hilarious if you were actually like doing that at that time and you were live and I was just watching you. Yeah,
I'm just
just
at
like-
work opening boxes.
At work, opening boxes.
Matt's like, all right, class,
Yep.
and today you're going to shut the fuck up while I make content.
Hell
We're
yeah,
gonna
let's
talk about
go.
video editing and content
Yeah.
creation, guys.
So like just like locally for you guys, what's I don't know, are we done talking whatever the topic was before I jumped the shark?
Yeah,
and
no,
went over
that's
to the
fine. We were talking about
conversation
the MMM. That was like the
Yeah.
most recent big thing.
elsewhere? So kind of leads into
well,
what I
DLC got spoiled also.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, yeah, at some
DLC
point we're
got
gonna talk about the
spoiled
DLC.
too.
Not previewed. They're previewing it now.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it
actual
got
The-
straight spoiled because
Yeah.
the UK got it before we did. I think they got the last one too before us. If I want
yeah,
to,
there's nothing up
they
with
got
the
one of
UK
them
laws
before
and
us too.
DLC. It's just like
Yeah,
no laws, Wild West out here, guys. Get
now
it.
it's a Wild West. You know, they're interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen them all. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
believe you have. Yeah, they're very cool. I think they're very. I think. Well, how did I explain it?
We
They're
got
not.
more card stackers, baby.
Yeah, but
Character
like,
stackers,
in my personal opinion, I don't think they're like world beaters, but they're going to be like something you're going to want to play at locals, and they're going to be fun, and it's going to be a different way to like play your favorite characters, which is kind of nice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the art's kind of cool. I like the chippy stuff. I think it's kind of
Nah.
neat. Some of them look
Yeah.
kind of good. I know it's not for
I think you'll
everybody,
leave
but you know, it's just
I think some of the cards
I'm-
are going to be pretty good to make a splash. Like Asui's friendship is, in my opinion, very nutty.
Mhm.
I mean, I tap one to tap 2 of yours,
sure. Yeah.
and it's got air, so you can ready it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty all right.
And water has ranged throws, so
Yep.
yeah, which
Mhm.
have stun on them sometimes, you know. So it's like you're going to
Yeah.
commit 3, and if you don't block it, you commit 2 more. So it's like you lose. If you don't block it, you're going to commit 5 of your opponent's foundations. That's
Yeah,
kind
like
of
half your board's gone. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean that's Magical Christmas Land, but we live there in this channel, so you know.
Oh yeah.
I liked.
perfect.
I thought the Ida card was kind of cool. I thought that was neat. I know it's kind of a vanilla 5/5, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool for, like, it gives Earth another. I think it had Earth. Yeah, Earth another kick. So
Mhm.
like you can really delve into the Earth like kicks package with certain characters who have that. You know. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like the Todoroki. He seemed pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shoto, he seems pretty cool. I think the Midoriya seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Giving things stun and breakers.
Yeah,
So
Breaker
then-
2 on and he also directly interacts with kick punch and kick
With
attacks
kicks
now. So we're
he's-
starting to move
he's
to the shoot style. Yeah, we're moving to the
Going
shoot
to shoot
style, a
style,
little bit
baby.
here.
Yeah,
So I thought that was
because
pretty
he
cool.
works with kicks and punches. He's
Yeah,
kick
and he's
puncher
got
now.
order on him,
baby.
so he can run like all those good kicks that Ada gave him. You know,
Mhm.
and he adds damage to him, which is kind of what the kicks need, right?
Because they're usually pretty
Yeah.
fast. They don't have as much
Yeah,
damage.
just
Yeah.
don't do anything. I think what was it was it quick thinking, the 4-2 check that adds a card in. I think that's gonna make a splash in like just like the stacker type decks. I don't know if it's gonna make a splash outside of the stacker decks because it can stack a character instantly. I mean, it could build a character, I should say. So, fun fact, I found this out that if you build a character and you play Hardened Frenzy during that turn, it's considered building a card. So you get +1/+1. I found that out because it doesn't specify foundation. It just
Yeah,
says
it's just
card.
if you've built a card to your stage. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. The more you learn.
Yeah.
I know that people are still waiting on the collector boxes. I don't think those have had a date yet. I know that someone said in Discord April 6th for the DLC, but I'm not entirely sure if that has been confirmed. But someone said that their invoice that they had received their DLC, but it says there's a do not open till April 6th tag on it. So
that would be about a month after the set release. So that kind of tracks.
That's
I feel
kind of
like.
on par. Yeah. And then when I talked to my store, when they were talking to their distributor, they also said the same time frame for the collector boxes was like early April. So
Man, I'm going to need them to
You
stop doing these sealed products like this, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
You're killing
Pokemon.
me.
Pokemon's been doing it for a billion years, and they're like,
Killing me, man.
Pokemon.
Those Clash decks, $40 a Clash deck.
Oh, dude, you should have bought them at Best Buy
you should buy- you
online.
get them at 25.
$24.99,
You
baby.
get 25. You get them for 25 a piece at Best Buy. Yeah.
I got 2 of them.
You can only buy 'em
I got
online,
2 of
I
'em
think.
coming tomorrow. Yeah, only
What?
online. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sold out,
yeah,
now, I'm
dude.
guessing.
I don't know.
Not
I know
as
that
of
Corey
yesterday.
tried. He couldn't get them shipped to him. So some places can't get them shipped to them. Boosters were $80, which was crazy. And then like I got two of the rival decks and two of the rival Clash deck thingies, and then I bought 5 blisters because there's a max of 5 you can get. Because I collect sealed products, so they're coming tomorrow. So I may just have all 5 of one character. I'm hoping for 1 of each, and then 2 extras that I can just open. But yeah, like they were like $4.50 a piece. They're even cheaper than normal packs. Like, yeah.
We're having a live reaction video of Matt reacting to finding out this news. Because you saw it. I just saw it in real time. It was in our Discord.
It was in our Discord, dude.
Ooh,
Pippa.
It was like
Pippa.
it was like Monday.
No,
it was Monday or Sunday night.
It was Friday.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was Friday.
Friday?
Because Pippa,
Okay, it was
because she
Friday.
was like, "Oh man, I'm sick or whatever. I can't go get." But then she's like, "Oh, but I randomly bought stuff on Best Buy because it was on sale." We were all like, "What the fuck?"
Oh,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
wrong with that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, you've been doing house stuff, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
dude.
you
Yeah.
know?
But
Well,
also,
good looking out,
but
because
also
this is like buy one get one free. Right?
it really
It is,
is. You
dude.
get 2 for 50. That's great.
Yeah.
But also,
I mean, I bought one for. To be fair,
I 2 days. If I buy it right now,
I bought my first Clash deck and my half case from my LGS. So please support your LGS. But after that, dude, it's all bets are off. Like,
I already bought 2 from my local game.
but also
Yeah.
stop putting 1-ofs in these things, please.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Can I
That's
go
the
get
only
a
reason
2
why,
of?
dude. It's
2-of.
I mean, ultimate combination Pixie Bob. I need 4 of that, dude. You know, so
Final Smashies. Come on, man.
Yeah, Final
Yeah.
Smash. Like I've literally been stalking TCG Player and any other card vendor I know online just to try to see. At one point in time, there were XR Final Smashes up for. I want to say they were like 25 or $30, and I probably should have hopped on that because those immediately went up to 50 a piece.
The first day I saw
Oh.
one for 20.
Was it 20? Yeah, I thought it was like 20.
yeah.
They were essentially, it was the cost of the one half of the rival deck, basically.
Yeah, but that's an
I
XR.
bought
Yeah.
So that's
the day one. I bought XR Double Troubles for less than $10. So yeah, let's
Nice,
go.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be stocking Best Buy for DLC as well. So
Yeah,
if they're selling
really.
rival decks for probably for that, they're definitely going to be selling if they have DLC, it's going to be less than $20. So,
and I don't know if
and
GameStop is still selling stuff or not. I know they had sold some of the other sets, and I know the
and I
original
know they've
battle
clearanced
boxes.
a lot of that out on
Yeah.
I clearanced a lot of that out on their websites for sure. I know that.
So if they
Matt is
bought
currently
in,
buying rival decks on live TV right now.
if you
What?
look
No,
if you look real
maybe.
close in the reflection of his eyes, you can see his credit card information.
His credit card
I
information.
don't, all right, so
Yeah.
to be fair, I don't have my credit card on me. It's across the room, so I'm gonna have to wait. But
Like Matt don't have it memorized.
Yeah.
I really should.
Yeah, I know that Corey tried, and he said that he couldn't get them shipped to his house. I don't understand why or what, but
Yeah, no, I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I was
it's
gonna
say,
much
so that's
just
good.
accepting my
That's good.
address.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, on the topic of sealed product, can we just take a breath of this? We, as speaking for all three of us, we are all house broke, man. We got house payments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true that.
I mean, I'm hoping set 5 doesn't have one ofs, man, because I mean I think that's something that should have just been killed off
Well,
with
do we
old
know-
Jasko is the one ofs.
Do we know if set 5 is that going to have a starter deck? Because set 2 didn't. And if
I
they're
mean-
following the pattern, I mean, who knows?
I'm
I
going-
I don't know why you would.
I'm going to
necessarily,
say
but-
it's probably going to have starters. I'm going to say it's probably going to have starters because I think so far they've done the rival box starters, rival box, and then
Set
I
2
would
had
say
nothing.
Well, I'm saying just skip set 2 because no one
okay.
remembers what set 2 actually does other than Toga 1. So and back alley haymaker.
I was saying back alley haymaker, double jab pummel.
Yeah. So those But anywho, and excited for blood. But like if you skip set 2, it goes rival starters, rival. So maybe starters. I don't know what. It's Undaunted Raid, so what, you're going to get a Midoriya overhaul starter or a Mirio overhaul starter or something like that?
Maybe.
But,
Can't wait to play my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Power! Show him, John. Show him.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm just waiting for the Bun Mom to show up eventually, so that's all I'm waiting for. So, Yep. Give her to me, Jasko.
That's all he wants anymore.
Damn it. I just want that character so bad.
Oh.
Anywho. Yeah, but okay, so we're talking about cards. What are some of your favorite cards out of set 4? Because set 4 it's been out for like a week, roughly. Actually, officially like as of like Friday. But what are some of your favorite give me attack and foundation off your head. What are your favorites?
A foundation decoy duplicate. I haven't had a chance. I haven't picked up my rival decks and stuff like that, so I haven't had a chance to play with them. But I did pull a decoy duplicate at my pre-release, and it was fucking clutch. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Playing as Shigaraki, I was at 1 health, and my opponent played a throw, and I was like, well, that sure does kill me. I'll just we'll get out of here. It's my get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
we can try that again. Oh, look, it was an attack I could block. Sweet.
Nice.
So it's foundation, probably that, just for my limited play. But I do think that card is going to have a constructed impact as well.
I think so too.
Just a card
The old game, Sweet Nothings did have some play. It did see play. So yeah.
And I know some people were like, "Oh, let your opponent draw a card." Well, who gave a shit that Chivalrous competitor lets your opponent draw a card?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Nobody.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick a foundation, I was just looking at the decks that I built on Ultra so far, and the low-hanging fruit is determined, right? Like determined.
That's the easy one.
Anything that has those symbols, I've put determined into. Seems really good, but I think convenient timing. The Kirigiri Foundation that in your card pool, you pitch momentum after you block with it to give all their checks -1 for the turn, and it's +2 mid block. I think that card's really cool mechanically, and I look forward to trying to find ways to use that in decks because that's like perma breaker for the turn. Like it's
yes,
good.
it is.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to stay in your card pool either. It just triggers and it hits. So
because it's not while this is in. It's just
right.
No, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So if you have things to kick
conveniently, if you're playing an all deck and you have you tier your two symbols with it, you can determine it so it's a +0 mid block.
You could do that. Yes.
Yes, you could. Yep.
So
we live in magical Christmas land,
right?
I think my would be like Lost in Thought. I think Lost in Thought's going to see a lot of play because it gives a snipe. It gives life a snipe now too, where it can deal with something now. You add it back to their hand, but then they build something face down. So whatever. But you get rid of it for a turn, and that's a huge thing.
Yeah. Another foundation I do want to give an honorable mention to Matt talking about his made me think of it is carpooling to work. Because something similar has another similar on block as a foundation. It does something, especially if to have. I think because it has earth on it, which I think is crucial because it's a +2 low block that also clears itself and goes to your momentum. And that was that was really good. I think that's a really good card because you reset progressive difficulty on defense. Okay, cool.
For sure.
And it has Mount Lady on it. That's awesome.
And also it is just a genuinely funny picture. It's like the scene in Into the Spider-Verse when Peter and Miles are taking the bus out to the to the complex because it's just Kamui Woods and Mount Lady driving in a car.
Right. It's just like, do you think would they really just drive a car to work? Like seriously, like they're superheroes. Like he would swing right, and she would just get big and walk.
But she'd probably destroy infrastructure.
Like incognito, I don't want.
If they're incognito, yeah,
riding around in our costumes.
I was gonna say also not that incognito.
Not that.
You can just say we're cosplayers.
What about attack? What about attack, John? What would you go with?
An attack. Let's see. I got to play Really Big Sword in the pre-release, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That seems really big. Good.
Yeah.
But I haven't got a chance to play Vile Season yet, so I won't say that one. But that seems freaking sweet, right?
If they go to Deadlock, that card's a beating.
Yeah.
That card's very good. Yes.
Probably, if I had to pick one, probably the Low Blow. I can't think of what it's called. It's just called Low Blow.
Called Low Blow.
The card is hilarious and also really good.
Yeah.
That could be cool. Yeah.
I like that card.
What about you, Chris?
Breaker 2 High Block. I think I'm just gonna do the low hanging fruit right now. I'll say Rushing Stab's really awesome. The 1-check Toga card. That card's great. But it makes her. I'll say you'll hear this in my deck profile. It makes her a completely different character. Like the minute you get it into your momentum, she's a completely different character. Being able to flip, unflip, draw 2 every turn it comes around to your turn is you make her an 8-hander plus whatever if you're ready. Blood Eval, which is another card you draw. It's just there's a lot. I think she's going to be that hard character to play because she's going to have so many moving pieces. Like you're going to have to figure out when you time your readies and all of that.
I think she's an easy to learn, hard to master kind of character.
Correct. Yeah, I think so. Like on her face, she's like, "Well, all I do is flip all my momentum and ready do things and draw cards." I was like, "Now you got to time. You got to time your stuff." But I think. Oh, that's attacks. Attacks. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I think Resolute Rushdown's awesome. Don't at me. So yeah.
Okay. Don't.
I like Resolute Rushdown. So yeah.
So if I were gonna pick an attack, I think Final Smash is the attack I'm most excited to play with. Again, I'd say it's probably low hanging fruit. It's a starter deck, rare, whatever, shiny. But I just keep finding myself trying to find more and more ways to put it in there. If I were gonna go from there,
it's not the Carolina Smash, duh.
Yeah, Carolina Smash is also on there, but that's just like because of being from South Carolina, right? Like I just like that card. But Dignified Display is
that card's cool.
It's a card I keep also just finding decks. And I'm like, oh, this would be really cool. Like I even went back and looked at Kirigiri 1, trying to figure out if there was like some crazy stuff you could start doing with that and him and build it off of Evil or something. And I think that card's really cool. I don't know how good it'll end up being, but I think it's really cool.
I think in general the Echo attacks in the set, like was it Wing Nomu, was it Sword Slicer or whatever, or the spinner card. I actually think they're really cool. Like some people were dogging on them, where they're just like, well, they're just kind of generically generic.
I mean, to play it.
I think they're like, I don't know. It just makes. I don't think they want to make pushed Echo attacks to begin with, because that's what we had with multiple, where every multiple was a pushed attack. So it's just like, I think Wing Nomu's really cool because you can't partial block it. That's sick. So they each have like their own little thing.
You can play it in Death Arms and give it extra damage for free.
Million damage.
I think what people are gonna realize is that if you can run Echo attacks. Get momentum consistently, you can reduce your total attack count and still have the same number of total attacks. That's very good. You know, if you have an Echo attack, it's 2 attacks as long as you have the momentum. Now, granted, you're going to have to play a slower deck if you do that, but whatever. Like play some defense, get to turn 3 or 4, and you probably take over.
like because the reason why I like Resolute Rushdown so much because we live in magical Christmas land with Midoriya too, so we get to clear our card pool with pool no punches and get the momentum and play that on a 6, and then we're just like you're gonna take 19 damage because you have no cards in hand, friend. So yeah, this is what happens when Midoriya 2 gets to go off because like.
Right.
I don't know if you do. If it happens, it happens. But more often, you're probably playing those on 7s and 8s, maybe 9s. But he gets to like rebuild so much where it's not that big
Right.
of a deal, right?
You
So
play it as like your third attack, and you're all
yeah,
out. You're
and
like,
it's not like
need an 8. Let's go.
it's not even like we're playing a 4x. It's like a nice spicy 2x. You could even lead with it, threaten 18 damage. Like they're not gonna want to take 18.
I mean,
damage.
you're also playing one
right?
with nature, right? So
Yeah, so it's just like have fun, deal with this nerd. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, it's just it's crazy. I think Echo people are going to like really, the newer players, the people who came on MHA only, are going to realize how good Echo attacks are.
yeah,
Just
Yeah, I think momentum is going to be the name of the game in the set 4 meta. I could be totally off base here, but I think that it was already pretty important. But I think it's just more and more important. Like what you were just talking about with Toga is a great example. Like if you play against Toga and you have no answers to her momentum shenanigans, you will lose that game probably 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And that is why we sideboard Showdown, because Capture Evildoers wrecks her game plan completely.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I was looking at building a Mr. Compressed deck off of Air, right? And with that, I was like, hey, time to put Cool and Tough in there because it helps me pick my momentum back up and at least and do something with it, even if it's not in my momentum. I don't lose that card, right? So maybe I can get it again. And I don't know, like I just think that if you're running a momentum deck, you're gonna try to add things in, like Chris was talking about, to protect your momentum. And if you're not running a momentum deck, you're gonna probably want to run things to deal with momentum.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that could be the way the meta shakes out. We'll see.
Yeah. I think you're not off base at all. I think there's a lot of truth to that because you're going to be able to control the pace of the game. Like you're going to keep their like any symbol that can probably run Wild Pussycats is going to run it at a 2x.
Right. Well, think about set 1 when you could capture Evildoers a Uraraka 1 at a key moment.
That was
debilitating. Yeah, you just
you won the
game
game there. Yeah,
and
you win the game there. Yeah.
And I think that could be the situation, not with just Uraraka, but like with more characters because there are more momentum dependent characters here in the set, and they're good. Like they're strong effects. So we'll see.
Definitely. And with Capture Evildoers, you get to pick which one, right? Like you
Correct.
decide. You're like, and it's removed. You're like, RFG that.
So like I had someone tell me, just play one of the one check. You don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, what if it gets Capture Evildoers? Then my character doesn't do anything and I lose. You know,
playing a way more honest game.
Then it's sad. Then it's sad Christmas land.
Then it's sad Christmas land. We don't want to be there. We want
Actually,
that one check every turn.
It's just sad Chris Smith land is what I meant. Sorry.
You are correct, Sean. Very correct. Yeah, very correct. Yeah. I am like a side note of like the set 4 stuff. I'm actually going to a Winnie case this weekend in Franklin, Wisconsin on the 11th. It's the set 3 meta, but we're playing for a case of set 4. So because they wanted to give everyone time to get cards and stuff, but it's whatever. But I'm really excited to go up there and play fun games with my set 4 decks because I want to see how stuff shakes out. Because I know the Death Toga has some holes, but I really want to see like playing live against another person other than just over webcam. So yeah. Very exciting. Do you guys have anything coming up for events wise or any other than waiting on PSCs? Is that pretty much it?
Probably just weeklies, that kind of stuff.
Locals, yeah.
I am knee deep in a Blood Bowl league right now, so.
Oh boy, Blood Bowl.
Oh yes.
See, you gotta add more blood to that thumbnail because Blood Bowl, Toga, blood, please.
Man, Toga would be a star player in Blood Bowl. Should be great. But yeah, we just got regular weeklies and that kind of stuff going on. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, we're probably just waiting on the PSE announcements.
The PSEs, yeah.
And then
are you guys playing with set 4 this week then? Are you guys playing? Are you waiting?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Period?
Like, I mean, it just came out last week. We did a pre-release, so I'm sure
it should be
we
fine.
haven't really talked about it, but
yeah, it should be. I mean,
I got people already wanting to proxy Plus Ultra 4-pack cards, and I'm like, dude, they're not even out yet. Like, please hold off.
Hadn't gotten them when set 4 released. They hadn't gotten them in.
Yeah, we haven't gotten them either. I guess they put out some email, like how they do the Jasco News email type stuff. They're supposed to be arriving this week.
Okay.
TM.
Whenever-
I was gonna say we'll see when
TM,
they go on sale
you
on
know?
TCG Player. So
Facts.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause,
60 days. Nope.
I do want some red
Buy 'em on
guards.
TCG
I need
Player.
my red guards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's probably pretty good in Cementos, though, right? Like
Mm.
that card's probably pretty good in him.
Also, I just love 3 diff attacks. I don't know, they're fun. And it gets
What about that
speed
2
and it
diff and-
flips it and
Okay,
it gets
so-
8 damage.
Do you think that a 2 diff attack, so measured violence? So this may be kind of leading
Yeah, here we
into
go.
just our
Mhm,
final
mhm.
thoughts because
Okay, I'll say
you know,
we've reached the theory crafting point of the pod.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Do you think 2 diff attacks are a mistake?
No, oh god, no. I used to play a 1 diff attack, and that was my favorite card in my deck. So no.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's
So here's the thing. Like, I think 2 diff attacks are incredibly difficult to create and design outside of if they're just fun.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
So, like, because, like, all right, they can't be.
They can't really be powerful. Like,
Well, yeah, they can't even really be like an engine, right? Like, they can't
Yeah,
just be a support setup thing.
Mhm.
Like, I think if you're gonna, like, to me, Wheel Kick is the best example of like just a poorly statted, very effective poke card. It was a 3 diff. It was like a 2 or 3 high doing 1 damage, but it had stun 3 on it, and it was a kick, and it was a 3 check. So what I'm getting at is that card was a 4x staple. It didn't matter. It didn't do damage.
Mhm.
You just opened the turn and committed a third of their board, right?
Yeah.
So like you
yeah.
can't even do things like that where they're not threatening from a damage standpoint, because of how good the utility is, right?
Mhm.
And I think measured violence is a good example of something that's probably okay as a 2 diff because it does 2 speed, 2 damage. It can be blocked easily. It buffs your next attack. So like you have to have something else. You have to make another check.
Yeah.
And it means you're going to try to weave this in awkwardly into like a lineup. I do think where this card could really shine would be like in some sort of water deck where maybe you've drone to
prone to dry
Drone
eyes.
to
Drone to
dry
Dry
eyes
Eyes.
a few
Yeah.
times, and it
Mhm.
comes in at the end of a chain, and you're like, need a 6. It's my 5th attack. Bang, and it gets plus a whole bunch of stats. Like something like that off of a Eraserhead 2 off of water or something. Like
Mhm.
this with his other 3 diff attack. Like I could see that being probably pretty good if you can get the right cards and get the draw engine going on. But
Yeah.
Nah,
I don't know. I mean, I
It's-
don't want to say it's a mistake. It's just they're tough.
I mean,
man.
I mean, like, what's not? I don't know if it's like. I guess mistake is the wrong word. Do you think like if we get like, because back in the old game we had the confluence of 3 diff attack, mature 59 garbage, where it was just like that's all they did was play it 59 attacks.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, sometimes 55, and then they had 4 actions. But
I do think they are incredibly
I-
difficult to design.
Yeah.
Three
Oh,
and
I agree.
below.
I
Because I
agree.
mean, there's the 3 diff attack from set 1, the rocket card. I have tried any deck I've ever made that has those symbols. I have tried to play that card in that deck.
Well, I got a deck for you now,
always
John.
gets cut.
Toga 2 off of life can play that card to straight face now.
Okay,
yes.
but I mean, it's a 3 diff attack that does 4 damage. Sure, it's 0 speed, but like it's
Yeah.
You killed me one game with it. You just threw it at the end of a chain. You played like 2 of them. And I was like, okay.
I guess
can't
I
block
died.
all of them.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1.
I mean,
guess
it's
I died.
it's inherently. I also, I mean, surprise. I like playing characters to put stats on cards, and like, oh, this card's cheap. It's easy to play. It has decent enough base stats. I can put damage on it or something.
Right. Like, and that's what I was going to point to is like, I think the if there's lots of things that are external factors that can buff damage or speed and things like that, like your Giro or like your prone to dry eyes or things like that, then lower difficulty attacks become more and more of a risk in the game.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
eventually there's going to be a critical mass of them, and it's like, hey, all my attacks are 4 or less difficulty, and I'm still doing 30 damage in a turn.
Yeah.
That's not
And, like,
good.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
But if they are not to that extent, and they're just like poking in for maybe like 5 with some buffs on them, that's probably okay. So we'll see, because they're very blockable. Like
Because like on average, that card's what, a 4/4? Because if you lift it with finger guns, play it again, get twice as buff, it's a 4/4 on average.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. That's
No.
not bad.
That's fine.
No.
And the other
I was just randomly thinking
No,
that.
no,
so
that's
just
fine.
to fill time.
And the like the 1 diff that I used to play in my old Adon deck. Adon was an 8 hand size character, and he could just discard your entire hand. So he just discarded your entire hand, and you played things that just gave free stats and stuff. You're like, it doesn't matter. That's a 1 diff that does 1 damage. I put 5 damage on it, and I played 3 of them.
Sure.
So
Sure. Yeah.
and then Adon punched it
Gotcha.
again. So yeah.
like kinetic booster orb, the all for one card. it's kind of like a spiritual successor to a wheel kick, right? Where it's slow and it does 4 damage, so it's kind of the inverse stats there. It's also one more difficulty, but you also have to commit a foundation and lose 2 life for it to get stun 3. And I think as long
Jesus,
as
what a cost!
right,
Yeah.
so like I feel like as long as those sort of things are put in place, then you can have these other attacks that maybe are lower difficulty and things like that, because to get the payoff of the utility, you're still paying additional cost then, and that might be fine.
Oh, I have another thing. I got another question. After you're done, John, I got another question I want to propose to you guys.
Okay, I was just to say also, man, with these little different attacks, you know what's gonna come. You know what's gonna finally see its day and shine for real this time. It's Alleyway Ambush, right? Because you're just gonna play a bunch of low diff attacks in Alleyway Ambush. Gotta play a set 2 character.
You're gonna say Present Mike. I really
no. Well, he's a set 2 character, baby. Let's go. The measured violence has chaos.
Yes, it does. Okay,
No, I was
so
gonna say, you have to be Jose Naroto to make those work, because he's the only one that made that Gamer 2 deck work.
I was kind of chit-chatting on the Discord this morning with some people. We were talking about deck size. Do you think the minimum deck size should be raised from 50+1 to 60+1 when we get maybe with like one more set coming out?
Nope.
Let me finish.
Okay.
It would also it might not. It also will slow down these turn 2 decks by not being like they would get turn 2 every now and then.
To the deck.
You're adding 10
it's
cards.
Harder to see the exact cards you need. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So would that be something that you think that going forward, because we know they don't like banning characters, they don't like doing stuff like that. So with like Ojiro 2 and Tokiyami and all that stuff, do you think adding 10 more cards would solve that consistent turn 2 stuff that people hate?
Go ahead, John. I'll tell you.
I was gonna say, I mean, in regards to like Tokiyami, not nearly as much, because you're still seeing a decent number of it. I don't necessarily. If they were gonna do it, I would say maybe 55. I believe the inverse. I think there should be a deck maximum. I think it should be a maximum amount of cards, because I want to mill people out with Present Mike too.
Fair enough.
So here's my question to that topic, and I don't know the answer to it, to be fair. I would like to see the data for decks that made even just top cuts at these major events and what the total deck count for those decks were. Like how many of them, because I think what ends up actually happening is I think a lot of the decks by people who are making the top cuts are not 51 cards.
No,
I think most of the time they're like 55 to like 65, somewhere in that range, normally closer to probably 60. And given that, I don't think that enforcing a new deck size minimum really changes anything. See what I'm saying? So like, for example, like a Tokiyami, like the really aggressive aggro decks where they just want to high roll you, right? If they're already running a little bit extra just because to get their ratios right, you know, they're in the mid 50s.
Oh, it won't do anything anyways.
5 more cards isn't going to make a huge impact. It will make an impact. You know, it'll affect them 1 out of 10 games.
I was gonna say it might change
1 out of 5 or something, you know, like whatever. But it's not going to suddenly solve the aggro issues. Like the reason that aggro is so good in the game right now is because the orange cards are very good. Like, you know, and the characters that are adding to those orange cards are also very good. And we don't have a ton of really good defensive characters. You know, like people don't like playing against decks where they feel like they don't have any way to win, you know? And I think that that's just the reality of of MHA as a format. Like if you're an old head and you came from the old version of the game, you know that the pendulum will swing really hard from set to set sometimes, right? Where it's like, hey, right now you better be ready to get debuilt and play like until turn 5 or 6 and be able to win some games. Or, you know, maybe you're only playing 1 game in 50 minutes. That's just not MHA. Like MHA is designed to be a faster version of the game. The deck limit being lower was part of that equation, I'm sure. And then even further, the orange cards being as good as they are is another factor in that equation. And you should be able to have counterplay. And I do think that there needs to be more counterplay. The actions to set are a great example of that. Like Ruthless Mockery, I would love to see someone just kill through someone blocking twice with Ruthless Mockery in a turn.
It happened to Church at the HLC. He blocked twice with it and still died.
Really? To what?
Ojiro 2.
To a god draw Ojiro 2, I'm guessing? Like,
I think so. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. It was Deku. I'm sorry. It was Deku 2. It was Deku 2. Yeah, Deku smashed him. Yeah.
But even then, like he's negating Deku's ability and
I
very
know.
more.
I know.
Like,
but eventually he's just gonna power through it, I think.
but Deku would have to have so much card draw on board for that to
I
occur,
know.
because that means he also
I think
blocks
it was
your
Deku
attack.
too. I think he might have. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 mockeries, but I know he killed him through a mockery.
One mockery you could definitely kill through.
Yeah.
But if all your attacks are getting -4 damage for the turn,
4 damage. Yeah.
good
I
luck.
get you. Like Showdown, I think Showdown's one of the coolest cards out of the set, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more people playing low attacks after because of it. It's like, what are you gonna do, nerd? Make it a mid so you can partial block. So
right? Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think as you get more, and I think it'd be really cool if like breaker is one of my favorite keywords, right? Because it's a defensive keyword. I think it'd be cool if they came out with some other defensive keyword, right? Maybe something that like reduces speed statically or something while it's in your pool or something, like to make your other blocks easier. I don't know, just something like that, because then that adds more counterplay to it. Because I don't think the answer is bring back reversals. You'll have people who want to talk about bring back reversals. That's not.
It's also not happening. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But it also would just add to the aggro problem, because you would just reverse them in their turn and then kill them on your next turn. That doesn't solve anything.
So like it's not. That's not the solution. And telling them that they don't get to play the game is not the solution either, right? Like that's kind of what Control wants to do, is tell you don't get to play the game that you want to play, but rather having more of a back and forth interaction is a good solution. And there does need to be more things like this, and hopefully design is working on that, right? But I don't think that just inherently increasing the deck size is going to suddenly make it so that turn 2 aggro goes away.
Sure, I get that. That was just a random question that I was.
That was an interesting question. I hadn't even thought about that.
Just like, because 50 plus 1, I mean, because that also led in, because what we were talking about earlier, that I had a local playing like 14 zero dips where 3 to 4 of them he really didn't even need to play it. He could play better cards. And I know that I've seen Tim Keefe and Kevin Broberg on the Discord ask people, it's like, well, if you cut some of these spam cards for actually good cards, you may be able to up your win ratio. You might be able to do better in the long run instead of just running all these spam cards that do nothing. Granted, most of set 1 zeros are some of the most best zeros in the game, which is it is what it is. But because we've always had that issue with the good symbol only having 1 really good one and 2 kind of meh ones, and then they just got a really good one in this last set. So like you don't want your zero dips to be the most powerful cards in your deck, but sometimes it kind of happens, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. See, I don't view zeros and spam as the most powerful cards. Like, I think they are, like they're just serving their purpose, right? Like their purpose is to help you in the early game, early builds.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I do not subscribe to the, oh man, I want to play 50+% spam mentality.
I don't like that either.
And honestly, and this is going to sound critical, and I guess it is, I think that's kind of a crutch for people who are newer to the game. And the reality is you just got to learn to kind of spread out your difficulty curve, figure out what you do or don't mulligan, what hands are capable, which ones aren't, and also spread out your difficulty curve across your attacks as well. So that way you're not making these really difficult, steep, turns on checks, and just play around it, and you can run 2s and 3s just fine. But if you sit down and you're like, I'm going to put 8 3s in my deck, and then I'm going to put 17 2s. Okay, that's probably a little high, man. Like, let's do some trimming here, maybe some 2Xs, that sort of stuff. But I think when you have, all 0s and 1s, like some of those are very good, to your point. Like Self-Sacrifice is a great card. And it doesn't even get played that much, but I'm just saying, like, as a spam foundation, 1/5, great block,
Bonds of Friendship,
plus or minus damage. Yeah, like there's lots of good stuff. So, like, I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think for a second, I can't remember a deck that I built, even the most aggressive decks, where I was like, I don't want any 2s.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
but there are people who do that, and that's fine. But like, to Kevin and Tim's point, if that's what they're telling people, is that's good advice. Like, you should probably run some of these other things because they're more powerful, maybe reusable effects, and also they're sometimes just hard answers to some strategies.
Yeah. So. It's like when you see people run less than 3 irrefutable, it's just like, why are you not running 3? It's like that card's so.
I flirt with 2 all the time.
Yeah, like I
you heard him, Tim. Send the blobs after him.
I may go 2 and then 1 in the side. I always have 3 in the deck.
In the board.
I always have 3 in the deck minimum. It's either 2 main, 1 side, or 3 main, 1 side, because that card's just too good right now. That card, especially with like Woman Nature and Earth being as good as it is, how good Water is. You can't win some Water matchups without it. Like seriously,
for sure.
you can't beat Water without sealing stuff.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting because I had a conversation with someone about Pump Up, which kind of serves as it's not the same card, but when you're muscular and you're throwing 15 damage attacks, they're gonna block it. So you could seal their damage reset or whatever. Like you get them out of like because the deck I'm having for muscular is it's a hand tax, so it's like you get rid of their hand and then you smash them in the face with 2 like 10, 15 damage attacks. They're gonna block something, so you seal their damage reset so they can't reset your last attack and win. So you kill them, and I just think there's some things that people need to think about where it's just like, well, I kind of want that in my deck because I want answers on the board, or as Tim calls them, snipes.
Well, that is a good thing to end the podcast on, Chris. I like that note.
I guess. Wow, I had a good nugget. That's great. I wasn't talking out my ass for a change. That's fantastic.
Use your mouth the whole time.
I know.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah.
But I believe that is going to wrap it up for us. Never mind.
I do have. I'm sorry. I do have an extra Mr. Compress. Down below in the comments, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Do the algorithm.
The algorithm things. We're all doing it.
Please,
One of us.
give us your favorite moment from your pre-release. We
Or
will pick one
release event.
random from your what? Or release event.
Or
So
release
yeah,
event now.
early release or release event. We'll pick one. You have to comment on this podcast. So we'll pick someone who comments on this podcast of their favorite pre-release release moment. I will send you a Mr. Compress because I have an extra. If it's in the United States, I'll just PWE it right to you. If it's out of the country, we'll touch base and figure out how to get it to you. So, as shipping is a lot for overseas and stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I don't want to disclude anybody from the overseas clan, the UA fans.
Because
So
we
please.
love all of our fans.
We love all of our fans.
That's right.
So yeah. So we will. Yeah. So again, like, comment, subscribe, do that stuff. Comment. Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Have a great week.
That's what I wanted. That's my piece.
Thanks
Have a
for
great
watching,
week.
guys, and listening.
Let's do it next week. Look for our Set 4 previews.
Bye.
Set 4 deck previews. Bye. Bye.